that he's been a consistent batsman. I say it is his second innings this week. So welcome, sir. With this, I'd like to request our President Sunil sir for his opening remarks.
Good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon.
I welcome you all on this third study circle meeting. I welcome all the members who are physically present here and those who are present virtually also. This is the third study circle meeting, which has been, we would like to specially thank Mr. Suhas Padhye for accepting our invitation in spite of his busy schedule. And
all the way coming from Pune. I request all of you to thank you. Thank you very much. Few things. See, on with regard to amnesty scheme, we had a meeting with the Commission's office on 10th October, and 10th October same day we had represented about the certain issues about the amnesty scheme, which was promptly accepted by the Commission. Some of the issues of it, but other issues they were not clarified regarding excess payment or some other issues to non-payment, and some other issues which we have been notified in our presentation to the department. However, I would like to specially thank Commissioner of State, Maharashtra State, Shri Mittalji. I would like to also thank Mr. Rajendra Aksul and Mr. Gajanan Kanande for. We met them at around 2 o'clock and we received the circular at about 4:30. Am I right? And it was a very prompt action, and that was the need of an hour that the appeals matter which were not being responded by some appellate authorities of the state of Maharashtra. And withdrawal applications after 30th of September, they were not accepting it. But that circular made very clear, and specifically we were assured, like if any of the officer, any of the department officer, appellate authority doesn't accept the withdrawal application, you can come with the physical application of withdrawal and give it to the commissioner office, which will be duly acknowledged by them, and that will be sufficient for the purpose of filing the amnesty application. Now, another problem was that the user ID and password was not being set because of a lot of time has gone back, as in 2017 it was not active, and some of the normally what happens, the accountant keeps the password and user ID of the dealers normally, and sometimes it is with the consultant also. But when accountant leaves, he is helpless. Then also when we approach to the commissioner office, and they have set the every judicial joint commissioner authority, judicial division, the joint commissioner will be that his PA is authorized to set the user ID and password. So any problem with regard to that, you are free to contact us and free to contact commissioner office also. They have said it will help you out with regard to the user ID password. And any other issues with regard to amnesty scheme, which may erupt after 30th of which may have erupted after 30th September, you can ask, you can send us the details about the dealers and what are the problems, which will be presented before the due authorities and will be taken care of. But payment and withdrawal of application, payment should be done before 30th of April, and withdrawal of application of fee should be before 14th. That we have to keep it in mind. Rest, I thank you all, and I just want to announce that our intensive study circle
meeting is going on very well successfully. We have
registered almost
15 people are there,
members are there who are participating in the intensive study circle. We are conducting Marathi coaching class also. We have participants of about 90 persons there. That's a well
we deserved applause.
And on 14th, with the Gujarat Bar and the ARTP, we have organized the Gujarati coaching classes. So it's starting on 14th and will end on 19th. It will be a 4 or 5 lecture series will be there. So if anybody wants to join, please join for that also. वो बोलते हैं प्रेसिडेंट का दूसरा शादी कराना पड़ता है किसी न किसी एक शादी का जो मौसम रहता है वो है हमारा SCPM का GSTPM का RRC. That RRC we are holding this year. We have decided to hold it on in Lucknow, and which will include the Ram Janmabhoomi visit also. And I request all of you to join for that. The circular will be issued shortly. Today, hopefully, we'll finalize the circular, and by evening, we should get the circular. I once again thank you all for joining this.
Dates circular.
Dates and all the charges of the RRC will be placed in the circular itself. I once again thank you all, the persons who have joined physically and as well as virtually. I thank the guys also for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request Ajay Bhai for formally introducing today's speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. At the outset, I would welcome all the dignitaries, participants present here physically in the library, as well as various participants on the Zoom platform, to this third study circle meeting of GSTPAM. It is indeed my proud privilege to be the chosen one to introduce today's learned speaker, Suhas Padhye.
Suhas Padhye is a graduate
and a diploma in taxation. He has worked in the accounts department of multinational companies for 2.5 years,
looking after all their taxation and audit matters. He is practicing as a sales tax consultant since
1984. He has been a consultant to various national and multinational companies in the Pune industrial area. He is a member of the working group of e-services committee formed by the Commissioner of Sales Tax, Mumbai, member of state level taxation committee of Maratha Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Pune, a member of the working group for Goods and Service Tax formed by Honorable Commissioner of Sales Tax, Maharashtra. He has delivered lectures on VAT in various seminars organized by the CTM, WMPK, and also
NCCI. He has given lectures on e-services at Mumbai, Satara, and Ahmednagar, arranged by GSTPAM, and Pune, Jalgaon, Surapur, arranged by the Sales Tax Department as well. He is also the winner of Best Speaker Award in the study circle meeting of GSTPAM for the year 2007-8.
And he has presented updates on set-off in the AIFT West Zone conference held at Nashik this particular month itself. With this short introduction, I request you to acknowledge him with a long round of applause. I now request our President Shri to present him our final. I also request the President to acknowledge the presence of Shri and Shri Boratam, who has come all the way from Pune to attend this particular lecture. I request Vice President to do the honors.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
I would like to say sorry first of all because while welcoming all, I forgot to welcome Mr. Hemant Bhakti and Abhay Goraji. I am very sorry. Thank you very much for coming here all the way from Pune. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
थोड़ा लैपटॉप नीचे आपकी तरफ. Okay.
With this, I request sir to start his presentation. The floor is yours.
Okay, and so I don't think we have to do anything. एक मिनट I think. Just over hours.
इथे म्यूट केलंय का? नाही माईक चालू.
Stop sharing the
Chalo.
sharing.
Yes.
Each plane now. Okay.
ते बंद ठेवले. बंद असलं तरी चालेल, काय हरकत नाही. Minimize करा. म्हणजे काय स्लाइडच्या मध्ये येणार नाही.
Yes.
स्लाइडच्या मध्ये.
Continue.
Good afternoon, all. At the outset, and first of all, I thank GSTPAM Managing Committee, President, Vice President, and all the office bearers for providing an opportunity to me to express my views on the subject allotted to me, that is filing and revision of TRAN-1 and TRAN-2. Basically, filing of TRAN-1 and TRAN-2, to my knowledge and to my understanding, is going to be a moot question now. Because there are a lot of issues which are created earlier at the time of uploading the TRAN-1, TRAN-2. Lot of issues has been created. That was the first year of GST implementation. It started in July 2017. We were fighting with filing of the returns also in GSTR 3, 3B, 1, 2A. And ultimately, there was extensions going on. So in that scenario, many people, many dealers, many practitioners have faced lot of litigation, lot of issues pertaining to the technical glitches, as system was also new. System was not stabilized at that point of time. And therefore, nobody was in a position to understand what is the recourse, what is the course of action, what is the answer to the issue which has been cropped up. And therefore, a lot of litigation, particularly in respect of TRAN-1 and TRAN-2, has been created. Now, I have divided
into 2 or 3 scenarios. Not I can say scenarios, but in the parts. One is that what are the legal provisions? Second is what is the background. First is what is background. Second is what is legal provision. Then what are the issues which have been cropped up. Afterwards, why the TRAN-1 and TRAN-2 facility has been opened, because of lot of litigations which has gone to the high courts, various high courts and Supreme Court. Due to that direction, so what are the directions? After that directions of the Supreme Court, the CBIC has issued guidelines, and after that CBIC guidelines also GSTN has issued an advisory that how to react, how to upload the information, how to submit the details pertaining to the TRAN-1 and TRAN-2. So I would suggest all of present over here and who are present offline, online, that it should be a last chance to avail the credit of TRAN-1 and TRAN-2. Now government will never answer or never listen to us, because what has happened, lot of cases has gone to the High Court. Various High Courts have given the judgments saying that the transitional credit should be available to the dealer. The system should be opened. If it is not possible, then it should be allowed to claim manually. If it has been claimed manually, then how it is to be claimed now, that is also going to be an issue now. Further, now after the directions of the Supreme Court, if somebody misses the bus, then I don't know what will be the fate of him. Because if tomorrow somebody goes to again court, definitely court is going to say that we have already given the directions. The period was being granted to you to claim the credit. Now, if you have missed the bus, there is no other solution. So we'll start the presentation accordingly. So first we'll look the transition credit background. What is the background to claim the transition credit? Why it was been provided? What is the reason that the transition credit should be allowed? See, the government of India decided that the 1st July 2017 will be the date for implementation of the GST. And the cutoff dates were 30th June 2017 for the earlier laws, that is VAT, Value Added Tax Law, Central Excise, Service Tax. So all these three major acts were converted into the GST. They merged or subsumed in the GST. So in that scenario, whatever the issues, whatever the credits, whatever the balances in the returns, whatever the closing stocks of finished goods, inputs, semi-finished goods, etc., was lying with the dealers. What to do? There should not be double taxation. And therefore, the provisions pertaining to the transition credit were introduced by way of section 140 to 142 in the CGST Act, SGST Act. So that was the intention of the government, that the credit, there should not be double taxation and the credit should be available to the dealers. As a result of that, the certain provisions pertaining to the claim of credit as per section 140, 141, 142 and rule 117 to 120 were introduced in the Act and rules. Now to claim that credit, certain restrictions and conditions were put, that it should not be a win-win situation that somebody will come and say that I am eligible for the credit. The credit has to be established, it has to be confirmed, and for that matter, various subsections considering the contingencies were introduced. So the legal provisions pertaining to section 140, 141 to 14010 and rule 117 to rule 120 were introduced. After that, the period was granted to claim the transitional credit. Earlier, the period was 90 days from the appointed day, that is from 1st July 2017 till 30th September 2017. But as we know that the system was not established, the system was not stable, and therefore a lot of people were facing the problems. There were technical glitches also pertaining to the uploading, pertaining to the submission of the details, etc. The government extended the date from time to time, and further 90 days period was granted. Due to that also, many of the people missed the bus. There were again various issues of not getting the credit transferred to the electronic credit ledger, irrespective of various contingencies, which we are going to discuss further. The dealers, the advocates, the practitioners, the chartered accountants were fighting with the government, with the GSTN. Unfortunately, there was no scope, there was no hope from the government, and therefore the matters went to the High Court. The various High Courts decided that it will be a right, it is a right to claim the credit of a dealer and nobody should be deprived of it. Therefore, the High Courts directed the government to open, or if it is not in a position to open, then the credit should be allowed manually and it should be taken into the monthly returns. After that, the Supreme Court heard the various matters and decided that the transitional credit should be allowed, and for that matter, in case of Union of India versus Philco Trade Center Private Limited, the Supreme Court had given the directions to the GSTN as well as to the central government that how the process to grant the credit once again, and it should be allowed to the dealers to claim that credit. They should not be deprived from the credit which is available to them legally and which is a legitimate right of them. On the basis of the judgment, then CBIC has issued the directions on 22nd July 2022. Various guidelines have been issued by the CBIC, which we will be dealing in the further presentation. Then CBIC also issued a circular number 180/12 of 2022 GST, with having certain guidelines to their officers and dealers and the principal commissioners, etc. After that, the advisory by GSTN for revision and submission of forms was issued. So how to deal with the technical issues, how to upload the details, what will be the position, and how to handle those situations wherein we were having faced problem or we were having problems earlier, and now the same problems should not be repeated again. Then we will deal with the practical issues and precautions now while uploading the information again or revising the TRAN-1 or TRAN-2 form. ये बीच में ये क्यों आ रहा है इसका स्लाइड?
आपके स्लाइड में ही है
नहीं
देखो मैं क्यों
आ रहा है?
एक मिनट
नहीं
ये इसमें नहीं है ना, इसमें भी नहीं है. ओके, so now it should work. Share. आई हूँ, चलो.
So TRAN-1 and TRAN-2 were introduced for carry forward of the credits under earlier laws prior to the GST, what I explained earlier. So whatever the credits which were lying in the electronic, not electronic credit ledger, but earlier credits, that is TR-1, then VAT return, ST3 return, whatever was there, that was supposed to be received or carried forward subsequently, because there was going to be the tax on that again in the GST regime. The prescribed time limit to submit the forms, which was 90 days from the appointed date, that is 30th September, I explained you earlier. Further, the same was extended for 90 days up to 27 December 2017, while order number 10 of 2017, GST dated 15/11/2017. So previously, the time limit to submit the details was up to 30th September. After facing the various issues, the representations, the government decided to extend the time limit by further 90 days to 27 December 2017. The reason was that taxpayers could not achieve the deadline for technical glitches or due to time restrictions. So because of these 2-3 major reasons, the date was extended further. Now, I explained to you earlier. After that, affected dealers approached the various high courts with writ petitions to allow submissions of the transitional credit and forms TRAN-1 and TRAN-2. Various high court decisions in favor of dealer and directions to allow submission. So the various high courts accepted the submissions made or the prayers made by the dealers, advocates, and then they said, yes, the credit should be allowed and the dealer should not be deprived from availing the credit. Therefore, the submission was allowed. They directed to open the transition credit, but again, the issue was, there was issue that the opening of the form was only to the extent of the dealers who were the party to the writ petition or who has approached the High Court. It was not a general opening, or it was not a facility which is going to be available to all the dealers. So in respective cases, the facility was available, the directions were given in that particular case, and it was stated by the High Courts that if it is not possible to open the system or it is not possible to allow the dealer to submit the information on the portal, then the manual declarations should be accepted, the details should be accepted manually, and it should be allowed through return in form GSTR 3B. The courts has held that it is a vested right of the dealer and he cannot be defeated on account of any irregularity in the system evolved by the government. This is the recent judgment in case of Bodil Chemicals versus Union of India, decided in 2022, 44 GST 64 Gujarat. So try to understand the situation. The court has held that it is a vested right of the dealer. He should not be deprived for not getting the credit because of the irregularity in the system of the government. And because of that, if he is not going to get the credit should be allowed to the dealer. Then again, the earlier issue was in respect of the Brand Equities Treaty Limited versus Union of India. That is TS 256 High Court Delhi, which was decided in 2020. So various such type of judgments were delivered by the High Courts, and the matters referred to GST and the matters were gone to the government to consider it. The government has formed one committee for it, which will dealt in next slides. Then what are the provisions of section 140? Now we are going to deal with the legal provisions about claiming the credit. The section 141 deals with the closing balances of input tax credit as per VAT returns, VAT credit under service tax and excise returns. So whatever balance was there in the returns, whatever refund was claimed in the VAT return, if it was eligible under the earlier law and if it is eligible under the GST law, then he was eligible to take the credit. So if there is any credit which is lying in the his returns, then that credit will be allowed to be taken as a transitional credit. Same was the case where VAT credit was available under the service tax and excise laws, excise return, that is ST3 and ER1. Then in respect of input tax credit on capital goods, the excise provision under the earlier law was that whenever the capital goods were purchased, the credit of capital good should be taken into 2 years. That is 50% in the year in which it is put to use or purchased, and 50% in the subsequent financial year. So accordingly, this provision was there because there was contingencies that the people have purchased the capital goods in 2016-17 or 17-18 in the first quarter also. Then the credit has to be taken for the remaining balance which was not claimed earlier. So that credit has to be availed. The credit was required to be claimed in the 2 years under earlier law, but now it was available under the GST law as a transitional credit at immediately. See, one point here we have to take into consideration when we are going to deal with the transition credit. I would like to stress that earlier, when we have claimed the transition credit, either prior to 27 December 2017, there was the credit when it has been claimed. Whatever tables which were applicable to me, if I have submitted the information in the respective tables, in that scenario, once it is filed, the credit was immediately credited to my electronic credit ledger. Okay, the credit was immediately available or transferred to my electronic credit ledger. But here, when now we are going to submit the new form, or we are going to revise any information pertaining to the claim which has been submitted earlier, the credit pertaining to that is not going to be credited to the electronic ledger immediately. This is a major deviation. This is a major deviation in this system. Then credit in respect of inputs, semi-finished goods, finished goods held as on appointed day for various category of dealers, because under the earlier law, there was various exemptions, there was various abatements, there were various tax-free goods, etc., etc. So accordingly, the provisions pertaining to the transitional credit were introduced in the section 140. Who are such type of dealers? The manufacturers of exempted goods under excise law, the traders dealing in exempted goods under the VAT laws, service provider who was dealing in exempted services or availing abatement facility as per the notifications issued under the Service Tax Act. Then the dealers carrying out works contract activities availing composition or concessional rate under VAT or service tax. Now here again, there are two contingencies. One is that if the credit is to be claimed, then the credit in respect of the closing stock was to be claimed either on the basis of the tax invoices or the documents which were available with us. If the documents are not available, how to claim the credit? So that was divided into two parts. One is that in case of availability of invoices, the full credit which was there in the tax invoice, which was charged by the supplier, was available to the dealer as a transitional credit. But if he is not having the document pertaining to the claim of input tax credit, then in that scenario, in case of non-available of invoices, credit up to 40% or 60%, depending upon the scenario, was available to the dealer as a transitional credit. Then the second, another subsection which was there was pertaining to the invoices because 30th June 2017 was the cutoff date. The sales were effected prior to the cutoff date. That was under the earlier law. The goods have been received after the cutoff date. The invoices pertaining to those supplies was also received after the cutoff date. So government has given the time of 30 days to book the invoices or documents pertaining to such details and claim the input tax credit under that subsection 145. So such type of credit was to be claimed by submitting the details in TRAN-1. Then input tax credit transferred by input service distributor. So under service tax provision, there was a provision of input service distributor. So whatever credit has been transferred by me from my one office, one branch to another branch, or from HO to another, was to be considered as a transition credit, which was lying in my books or which was lying in my those returns under the service tax. Then the credit transferred and distributed by dealer having centralized registration number. So there was a system under the earlier law that centralized registration number was available, and whatever credit which is was distributed, if that was available with the branches or other in the other states, in that particular scenario, that credit was also allowed to be taken as a transition credit. Then reclaim of input tax credit reversed earlier for non-fulfillment of payment criteria within 90 days. There was a condition under service tax law that if you are going to avail the credit on any invoice, the payment of that invoice was supposed to be made within 90 days. If that payment to that supplier is not made within 90 days, then this SENVAT credit which was availed has to be reversed. In that scenario, that credit which was reversed earlier can be claimed as a transition credit. Then declarations pertaining to inputs of semi-finished and finished goods with job worker as on the appointed date. See, the facility under the excise law, there was a concept of job worker. So any dealer, any manufacturer who was not having the facility of certain processes carried out to be at his end was always sending the material for carrying out the activity of process to the job worker. So on the appointed day, whatever material which was sent to the job worker was lying at his place, the credit on that stock which was lying with the job worker was to be claimed, and the details was required to be submitted in the transitional form. The deduction of tax paid on supplies under Environment and Services Tax Act prior to the appointed day, to the extent of supplies made after the appointed day. See, I told you that there was earlier the taxes which were paid under the earlier regime, earlier laws. After that, but the supplies has been effected in the GST law. So there was a situation that taxes were paid under the earlier law. Again, to the extent of the supplies which is going to take place in the GST era, that there was double taxation. And that to avoid double taxation, the government has provided that the earlier tax which has been paid under the earlier law, and if there is certain supplies which has taken place, the deduction will be allowed to the extent whatever is going to be supplied after the appointed day. So the liability has to be calculated after the date of the appointed day, and if any liability which is going to be there, from that liability, the credit for the taxes which were paid in under the earlier law has to be availed as the input tax credit. Now coming to the directions of the Supreme Court. So we have seen the background, what was the legal provisions that under which contingencies we were eligible to claim the input tax credit. And in that scenario, we have claimed the input tax credit, transition credit, after submission of TRAN-1 and TRAN-2. Now, I told you that there are a lot of litigation, lot of issues which were faced while submitting the TRAN-1 and TRAN-2. The details which were uploaded earlier were not visible on the portal. The form was actually filled. There was a message or the what we say that the filing successful, because here we don't get the any acknowledgement as such while submission of the return. We see a screenshot that filing is successful. So that has taken place. But unfortunately, the credit amount has not been transferred to my electronic credit ledger. So in that scenario, also there was an issue that form was successfully filled, form was filed, but credit has not transferred to the electronic credit ledger. In some cases, the haphazard manner details were submitted on the portal. In some cases, the details were not transferred or not validated. So we were not knowing at that point of time what is the situation, but everybody was in a soup. Because in GST, the worst part is that we do not have any access to any system people. Everything has been controlled by GST in Delhi. And a normal dealer cannot go and have a communication with the GSTN people. Earlier in VAT regime, what used to have any issue pertaining to VAT returns or any submission or any technical issue, we could have gone to the nodal officer or to the zonal officer or to the technical system team and get this issue resolved. But now here that is the worst scenario that we are ultimately helpless in these situations. And that has created a chaos, particularly in relation to the transitional credits. Number of cases has gone to various high courts. The high courts were flooded with the cases in this respect. And high court was always asking to the government that why this is the situation, why you cannot provide the facility to upload the details to the dealers. You allow them. But as I earlier told you that was again the situation where the dealers who were party to that writ petition or the dealers who had gone to the high court, it was an individual direction in respect of that case only. It was not a generalized directions that open it for all. Now you see, this is I can say, a gift which has been granted by the GSTN and the central government on account of Diwali holidays. That come ahead, if you have a problem, if we have not allowed you to upload the details or you have faced any problem, then come ahead. You can submit the details. You can revise your details if there are any mistakes, etc. And the credit will be available to you. So the Supreme Court, I told you, versus Union of India and Philco Trade Center Private Limited, has given certain directions to the government, saying that the concerned authority to verify veracity of transitional claim with a period of 90 days. Try to understand the situation I told you earlier. In the 2017-18, whatever information has been submitted at the time of submission of TRAN-1 or filling of TRAN-1, the information, if it was rightly submitted or filled, it was uploaded on the portal, the credit was transferred to your electronic credit ledger immediately. So you have availed that credit in the next one at the time of submission of your return in Form 3B for the month of December, which was filed in the month of January 2018. But now this is not a scenario over here. What Supreme Court has given the directions is that the authority, that means your nodal officer in charge, where your case, if your case is with the central officer who is in charge of your case, if your case is allotted with the state officer who is in charge of case, after uploading the details in Form TRAN-1 or TRAN-2, he will verify the transitional claim within a period of 90 days. So it is mandatory for him to verify whatever has been submitted by you. Now again, I am coming to the issue saying that there are a lot of cases wherein certain information is missed out. Transitional form has been submitted. It was not properly submitted. There were certain entries which were missing or certain entries wrongly uploaded. In that scenario, when we are going to see the uploading, etc., I will explain that to you. But in that scenario, even if your application has been uploaded earlier, you have availed certain credit, Now, when you are going to file and revise the TRAN-1 and TRAN-2, it is not a situation that the credit will get transferred immediately. The verification part of 90 days will be made applicable to you also. Then after verification of that credit, see, again, within 90 days, he has to verify. Within 90 days after submission, that if you are going to submit on 30th October, the 90 days will come November, December, January. So by 30th January, he should be in a position to verify, or he should verify. After verification, he is supposed to pass an appropriate order on merit. Again, I am coming to the point that, see, Supreme Court has not blanketly allowed to upload the details, not blanketly allowed to take the credit, not blanketly going to be allotted the credit, whatever has been submitted to your electronic credit ledger. It is subjective principle matter. So what Supreme Court has said, the officer has to verify the credit, the details uploaded by you within 90 days. After verification, whatever he finds that it is suitable, it is correct, it is proper in the eyes of law, he should pass an appropriate order. The appropriate order should be passed on the merits. So again, it is not that he will allow the entire credit. He will pass the order on the merit. Then if there is any issue pertaining to the credit which is going to be transferred, or pertaining to the details or information which is submitted by you, then he should give an opportunity of hearing to the dealer before passing the appropriate order. Once he confirms, and after hearing and everything, the allowed transitional credit to flow to the electronic credit ledger of the dealer. So take a situation, within 90 days he is supposed to verify. After within 90 days, then he will issue a show cause notice to you. Once he issues a show cause notice, the prescribed time limit as per the provisions of the law for submission of the clarification, etc., will be provided. So you will submit the clarification. After that, whether it is acceptable to the officer, he will confirm it. Then he will pass the order. And after the order, the amount will be getting flowed to their electronic credit ledger. So to my knowledge, it will be a situation that minimum 120 days we should consider to get the credit, whatever has been submitted, the information. Now, therefore, it is, I have taken last 2-3 slides to what should be the precautions, what should be the care it should be taken, because this is the last chance now. Supreme Court has given the directions in the order itself that it's a one-time opening of the portal. And now, take it from me, even if some people misses the bus again, and if somebody goes to the court, Supreme Court or High Court is definitely going to say, one opportunity was already been provided to you. Now it will not be a every time job that you will come to us saying that it should be allowed. I don't think so. The GST Council may issue guidelines to field officers for scrutiny of the claims. See, Supreme Court has said in the order itself that GST Council also can issue guidelines to the field officers for scrutiny of claims. The directions by the Supreme Court in the matter of Union of India versus Philco Trade Center Private Limited, SLP 32709, 32710 of 2018. Now, Supreme Court has directed GSTN via its order dated 20th July 2022 to open common portal gst.gov.in to claim and allow revision of Form TRAN-1 and TRAN-2 to claim the transitional input tax credit by aggrieved taxpayers. Now, this is, though it is aggrieved taxpayers, but it is open to all. So any person who has not taken the credit or who has submitted the information which is not correct or proper, it will be allowed to everybody. The common portal should be opened for 2 months. Supreme Court in his order has said that it will be open for, the government should open it for 2 months. So 60 days period should be granted. and the directions were given that it should be opened from 1st of September to 31st of October. But government has and GSTN has represented to the Supreme Court saying that it may not be a situation for them, that within 30 days, they may be required to undergo various processes, the returns pertaining to the September month, there is GSTR1, GSTR3B were in process also. So it will not be possible for them. So they asked for the extension, and accordingly, on the request by GSTN, Supreme Court granted 1 month period extension from 1st October 22 to 30th November 22, by their order dated 2nd September 22. Now, how the facility? The facility is available to any aggrieved registered person to submit, file, revise, or it is available to any dealer who is registered as on the date of appointed date. So if anyone has not filed at all, still he can go and take the benefit of the uploading of TRAN-1. It is not a situation that you should be a party. No condition to be party to writ before High Court or reference to ITGRC. See, ITGRC, I referred to that committee. Earlier, whatever the issues were raised pertaining to the transition, then all issues were handled by this committee, which was formed by GST Council to address all the technical glitches pertaining to the transition credit, that is TRAN-1 and TRAN-2. This committee is Information Technology Grievance Redressal Committee. So now it is not necessary that your matter has been submitted by you to your nodal officer. Your nodal officer has sent it to the redressal committee, and the matter is pending before the redressal committee. It is not a precondition. Even if it has not been reported, still the dealer can take the benefit. And further, Supreme Court has categorically mentioned and given the directions that the government should ensure that within these 2 months period, when you are going to open, there should not be any technical glitches. The dealer should not face any technical glitches during these 2 months. So that is an assurance which has been required to be given by the GSTN and the central government as per the guidelines issued by the Supreme Court. Thereafter, on the basis of the Supreme Court order, CBIC has issued the guidelines. What CBIC has issued, CBIC is saying that applicant may submit or file fresh form or revise earlier form. So if you have already submitted the earlier form, if you have came across after that there are certain issues, there are certain corrections which are required to be made, you can do that. In case of revised submission, the option facility is available to download earlier form available on portal. So now they have made an earlier forms which were submitted, Transition 1 and Transition 2 forms which were earlier submitted within the prescribed period. Those forms will be made available to the dealers after the login. We will see that slide ahead. And if you want at all to revise that, you can view those forms, download the forms or download the earlier information which has been submitted by you. But at that point of time, you are required to declare the declaration in the Annexure A, which is prescribed in PDF format as per the Circular 180/2022 GST. The Annexure A part has to be uploaded at the time of revision of the TRAN-1 form. Then applicant who is going to claim the credit in table 7A for TRAN-1 on the basis of CTD, that is credit transfer document, that is custom duty paid invoices which were available with him, and the credit has to be taken into the transitional credit in TRAN-1 or TRAN-2. He has to upload that information in PDF copy of TRAN-3 with details as per the notification which was issued number 21 of 2017 dated 30th June 2017. So see, you will be required if you are going to submit any information pertaining to the claims which have been made under table 7A of the transitional form, pertaining to the customs duty paid or the duties paid, that credit transfer document which was available at that point of time, then you have to submit those invoices or those in that information in PDF copy in TRAN-3. No claim will be allowed in respect of table 5B and 5C for declarations in form C, F, H, I after prescribed due date, that is 27th December 2017. So earlier you have submitted a transition form wherein you have submitted the details pertaining to the declarations which were received and not received regarding interstate sale which was effected, that is C, F, H, I. And now after 27 December 2017, you have received number of forms or declarations. The directions given by CBIC are very clear. They say no. In that scenario, in that contingency, you are not allowed to revise that information or change the information which has already been submitted prior to 20th September 2017. Now, when we are going to submit TRAN-2, TRAN-1 is a credit which is available directly from the invoices, etc., and certain contingencies. The TRAN-2 wherein I have certain goods which were lying as on the cutoff date in the stock, and those goods I was having invoices with me, or I was not having invoices with me, but I have claimed a transitional credit. I was supposed to give the information of that goods which were supplied in the subsequent period of GST era on monthly basis. Now they have said, a CBIC is saying that whatever sales has been effected in the subsequent 6 months after the implementation of the GST, there is no need that you should again submit the information on monthly basis. You can prepare one consolidated details and one single consolidated TRAN-2 can be submitted. We will see that later on. Then no requirement of monthly submission as per rule 1174B3 as earlier. I explained to you that whenever the goods which were held in stock were sold subsequently in the GST era, and once the goods were sold, we were supposed to declare the details pertaining to sales effected, supplies effected in that respective month. So now they say, as per the rule, it was monthly requirement. Now it is not necessary. You can submit it on a consolidated basis. There, at the time of submission of TRAN-2, the window of tax period will be available. There, in that tax period column, whenever the last month will appear, in the last month for which the claim is to be filed should be mentioned. So what they are expecting, you are supposed to submit the information consolidated. So it is not a requirement of monthly. Now you can say that what was the last month, December. So you can say December 2017 and upload the information on the portal itself in spite of giving the monthly details. In case you want to revise the TRAN-1, whatever has been submitted earlier prior to 27 December 2017, the facility for applicant is available to download TRAN-1 and TRAN-2 from portal. So it is better that you download the entire form, entire details available on the portal, verify those details, and if you want to revise it and make correction, then and then only you can do the correction. Then submission of self-certified copy with Annexure A and TRAN-3 to nodal officer in 7 days. So once you are going to upload the information, upload the TRAN-1, file it. After filing, you are required to submit Annexure A, the TRAN-3 that we have seen, that's table 7A regarding document invoices, and it has to be submitted to your nodal officer within 7 days after submission. The applicant should preserve all documents, invoices, returns, records in respect of claim for verification by concerned officer. See, now what is going to happen? Earlier, whatever information has been submitted in TRAN-1 and TRAN-2 was accepted by the department. In certain cases, it was verified by the departmental authorities or the audit officers, but prima facie in 90% cases or more than 90% cases, the credit was immediately available to the dealer. Now we have seen that as per the directions of the Supreme Court and as per the directions of the CBIC, the credit has to be first verified. So now for purpose of verification, naturally the concerned officer is going to ask you to produce the copies pertaining to the returns on which basis you have availed a credit or revised the transitional credit. What are the invoices on which you are relying to claim the credit now? Whether those are now available, then the question arises that if those are available at this point of time, why they were not available at that point of time in 2017 when you have claimed the credit. So to overcome all these scenarios, we should have all the documents, invoices, returns, and records in respect of claim for verification by the concerned officer. The CBIC, again, as instructed by the Supreme Court, is saying that it will be a one-time option which is available either to file those who have not filed or revise the TRAN-1 form. I am always saying that it should be a utmost care and checking before filing on common portal. It should be taken. Otherwise, again, we are going to face litigation. We are going to face issues, problems with that. The submit button is available on portal, but facility to edit details before submission is also available. So before uploading or before filing, try to verify whatever details have been submitted, whatever details have been available on the portal, and then file it. Otherwise, it will not be available for edit again before submission. Then modification, addition, deletion of details in tables possible prior to submission. So whatever modification, again you noticed that the staff has submitted certain information. On verification, you came to know that no, this is not a proper information or there is some missing. Then you can modify those details. If there is any addition, you can add, you can delete. But it is prior to submission. Once it is submitted, it will not be available for edit, or the option to edit will not be available to you. Once submit button is clicked by you on the form will get frozen and no date edition will be allowed. Frozen form to be uploaded by clicking on file button by DSC or USC option. No further opportunity to file or revise TRAN-1 or TRAN-2 as per the order of the Apex code. So again, I am repeating again and again that this is a one-time option which is available to all the dealers to confirm, to verify whatever credit which was earlier claimed, whatever missed. If it is available now, you can submit, you can revise that. The one-time opportunity is available during the period 1st October 22 to 30th November 20. See, again, what CBIC is saying in the circular and the guidelines which has been issued by them. Any rejection, either wholly or partially, of credit availed earlier. So you have submitted the transition credit form, TRAN-1, TRAN-2 form earlier, that is prior to the due date of 27 December 2017. At that point of time, your verification of transition credit was made by the nodal officer or the audit team of the government. In that case, any credit which was rejected by the nodal officer or the audit team, now you cannot claim it again. There is no option to you that the credit which was earlier rejected or partially which was availed by you. Now you cannot come and ask that credit which was earlier rejected, now I am going to come and I am going to claim that credit as you have allowed me to submit or revise my form. So that facility is not available. The CBIC is saying the facility to the remedy which is available to you in that case is to adjudicate the matter or prefer the appeal against that earlier rejection order. The declaration in TRAN-1 and TRAN-2 is subject to the verification by the authorities. So whatever information is submitted will be verified by the authorities. The jurisdiction officer to pass appropriate order after verification. Reasonable opportunity of hearing is given to the applicant. And transitional credit allowed as per order will be credited to electronic credit ledger. Now coming to this slide. See, when we are going to log in the system, once after login, I will have to be going to transition credit. So in the second row, you will see a dashboard. There is returns column. After the returns, you will see transition form, and there is TRAN-1. So now these TRAN-1, they are showing the status. So transitional ITC stock statement, GSTN status. Status is not filed. So what they are saying, I have not filed. I have not filed transition credit earlier. So now I will be going ahead. Now here what they are asking again, whether all the returns required under existing law for the period of 6 months immediately preceding appointed date have been furnished. See, you have to confirm that the appointed day is 1st July 2017 and the returns prior to the 6 months were submitted by you. You have to, they have provided the drop down here, yes or no. So you have to select appropriately. If you select no, you are going to face problem. You have to select yes and go ahead. Now, this is the second. How to access the TRAN form. We will be going to gst.gov.in, that is home page which is displayed. Then log into the GST portal with our valid credentials. And then after going in, we have to go to the services dashboard, then returns, and after returns, transition forms command will be there. So there we will be required to go and verify, confirm. Now after that, we will coming to the all those tables which were available earlier for submission of the all details pertaining to the transition credit. Now here we will be required to verify, confirm that proper information as per the proper table, as per the provisions is required to be uploaded in the required table. Because I am again and again telling, I am again and again saying, this is the last option which is available to us now. I don't think government may come out again and say that, yes, we are going to provide you, because this option is available only on the directions of the Supreme Court. And I feel that Supreme Court must have gone with a headache saying that so many people, so many cases are flooding over here only on the technical glitches issues. एक बार जिनको दे दो यार, चलो खत्म करो एक किस्सा. So they must have said to the GSTPAM, बाबा आप लोग 2 महीना खोलो, एक ओपन करो और अलाउ करो, जो लोगों को आज तक मिला नहीं है उनको एटलीस्ट सबमिट करने दो. So now we will be required to view all these tables. Table 5A, 5BC talks about amount of tax credit forward in returns filed under existing law. So at that point of time, whatever returns were submitted by me under GST under VAT, then ST3 service tax, ER1 excise. So whatever as per those returns, whatever credit was carried forward, if there is any missing credit which was not claimed, that we can claim over here. Then 6A, 6B talks about details of capital goods. We have seen that capital goods details pertaining to the excise, the credit was available in the first year at 50%, second year remaining 50%. If any credit which is remained to be taken, then that is to be reported over here. Then 7A, 7B, 7C, details of inputs held in stock in terms of section 143, 144, B, 145 and 146. So we have seen earlier that whatever stocks were lying, whether that was exempted category, whether trader was exempted, what was the amount of stock which was held with me, the stock which was held as on the appointed day. I was having certain details pertaining to the claim of credit, so I have claimed the credit. I was not having the details pertaining to claim of the credit, so I have taken the credit on the basis of the formula or the 40% or 60% ratio which were applicable to me. So pertaining to that information, I need to submit only. Then details of transfer of SENVAT credit for registered person having centralized registration. So that we have seen that centralized registration credit which was remained or not transferred or something, that we have to see. Then details of goods sent on job worker and held in stock. So on cutoff date, there was certain stock which was lying with the job worker, which was sent for carrying out certain processes over there. That if anything has been remained to be carried out or confirmed, that I can take or revise that credit also. Then details of goods held in stock as agent on behalf of the principal. So principal and agent both were supposed to declare at that point of time the stock which was held by principal and stock which was held by agent on behalf of the principal. So if that credit I have taken, or if anything which is missing or anything which is required to be revised there, I should submit that information in that particular table. Then 6A, 6B, capital goods for which unavailed credit has not been carried forward under existing law. Then 7A, 7B, 7C, details of inputs held in stock. We have seen that. 9A, 9B, 10A, 10B. This is talking about where all the returns required under existing law for the earlier period, if I have not filed a return. 6 months return. Earlier slide, we have seen that, yes, I have filed a return. So accordingly, the information needs to be submitted over there. After that, the GSTN has issued an advisory. Now, what GSTN is saying there? We have seen the tables now. What GSTN is saying? GSTN is saying in case of substantial information in table 6A, 6B, 7A, 7B, the offline utility facility in Excel template is available, and it can be generated or it can be validated a JSON file, and you can upload those details. Because see, 6A, 6B, 7A, 7B, there may be a huge substantial information which may be available with you. So in that case, it is not necessary that you should go online and start submitting all the information, invoice level details or something like that. In that scenario, you can use that Excel template which is available on the portal, create a JSON file and upload in the respective table. Information can be uploaded using CSV template for information to be added in table 5B and 9AB. See, there is a difference. Earlier, table 6A, 7, they are talking about Excel file, convert it into the JSON file and then upload. Now for 5B and 9AB, what they are saying is that you create a CSV template, a CSV file, and then upload the details. Option to file information online is also available, provided there is no substantial details. So if there are 10, 15 invoices, not much information which is going to be, you may not use that Excel file or utility, offline utility. You can submit online information. The details which are going to be submitted will be saved on the portal. Then option to download the details submitted in table 56B 798. They have provided these details because now they don't want a complaint from the dealers that the information which was uploaded by me now again, or I have revised again, that has not been properly transferred or that has not been properly uploaded. So before submission, you can download the JSON file, you download the CSV file, you can verify those details and then upload the records after verification before submission. In case original forms are submitted earlier, only some details are to be revised. The dealer should complete details instead of correction or addition. See what GSTN is saying, that you have uploaded the information pertaining to the 100 invoices in particular table. Now you want to upload only 10 invoices in addition. If you are going to try, in my view, you are going to take a much risk. Because if you are going to say by opening that particular table or window, if you are going to submit online that I just want to upload only 10 invoices, you may be facing again a problem. So what they are also saying, that in that scenario, if you want to upload, if you want to revise, modify, they say download the file, revise the entire details and submit again. Now my question is again over here, that I have earlier stated. Earlier I have submitted the declaration. Earlier I have submitted my TRAN-1. But in this scenario, my transition credit was transferred to the electronic credit ledger at that point of time immediately. But now when I am going to revise or submit additional information, what is going to happen? The additional benefit will be getting credited. But again, the additional, even though the additional benefit is going to be getting credited, my entire details will be available to the nodal officer for verification purpose. The nodal officer will say, fine, at that point of time, you have received the credit. Now you have added. I want to verify which invoices you have added. So bring all the details. I will verify all the details and then the remaining credit will be available. That means it will be a situation that you have received the credit of 5 lakh rupees earlier, and now you want to have a credit of 50,000 rupees more. For 50,000 rupees credit taking more, you will be required to verify 5,50,000 details. That is my perception, because we know officers. They will not say, I will blanketly allow you the credit. We will say, fine, at that point of time, we were also supposed to verify the credit, whether it is eligible, whether it is genuine or not. So now the scenario will come that in that scenario, there may be a rejection. There may be a contingency wherein the credit may not be eligible to you, or he may say this credit is not eligible to you. So again, as per the guidelines issued by the CBSE, it will be a situation that we will have to prefer an appeal or adjudicate the matter against that order. Then preview facility to download current details in Excel format to ensure correctness before submission. Submitted forms not filed. See, earlier I have received 2 cases wherein I should not say they are our professional colleagues, but the persons who were guiding that particular dealers, they have only saved the information on the portal and not filed by using EVC or DSC at that point of time. And the dealer was not knowing. That when the dealer came to us, he said, sir, my 15 lakh rupees SENVAT credit has not been received by me. And my 7 lakh rupees VAT credit pertaining to the stocks and etc. So almost 22 lakh credit I have not received. So what to do? He came to us in 2019. I said, you should have gone to the department, you should have raised a ticket, you should have made a complaint, and then your matter should have been referred to the committee, redressal committee. The redressal committee will put all the such issues which came before them, before the council. Then council will guide them that these issues should be sorted out or these people should be allowed, because on the cases basis, they have allowed such type of credit. by reopening that windows. So he said, no, I don't know anything. I said, you give me your password, login ID password. Then we are verified. The information was only submitted, saved there. It was not uploaded by using DSC or EVC. Then I said, you go to your excise superintendent, your nodal officer, file a claim, say that I have not transferred the credit. Now that refund should be granted to me under the provisions of the earlier law as per the provisions of 142. Then the matter again they have taken up with their committee, etc. One circular was issued that you should give certain information in that annexure A part. That declarations will be going to the redressal committee. Fortunately, his problem was solved and he got the credit of 22 lakh rupees. So now here they have specifically mentioned in the circular or guidelines that only submitted forms without using or DSC will be treated as not filed only. Then facility to download earlier filed form TRAN-1 will be available on the portal.
Sir, I have a query.
Yes.
Sir, you were saying that we have to put all entire data which was put in the original. Now I am creating a scenario. Let's say in the original I put 100 rupees of transactional credit. Now out of that 100 I had missed 20, which now I will add, so it becomes 120. During this last 5 years, there was some adjudication which happened, where they told me that this 10 rupees is incorrect. You should have claimed in SGST, instead you have claimed in CGST. Correct? Now the question is, when I file the revised claim, because this 10 rupees is already reversed in during that time, already reversed in say GST or PU, whatever, because department said to reverse karo to मैं आगे का close करूँगा matter. Now what is to be done? Do I show 110? Do I show 120 with the wrong, so that because 3B में already reversed?
Coming to that, such issues I have taken.
Okay.
TRAN-2 will be available only if TRAN-1 is filed by dealer and submitted information in table 7. So again, see, inverted commas. Everywhere they have put a condition with a bar. It's not that it's an open mandate or open facility which is available to you. If you have submitted the TRAN-1, then and then only, and in information in table 7, then and then only you will be able to upload TRAN-2. Without that, it will not be available to you. That pop-up will not be available. You will see the TRAN-2, but you will not be able to open that window. In case substantial records are added in table 4 and 5, offline Excel template can be used to upload JSON file. So they are specifically mentioning that if substantial information is to be uploaded, don't go on the common portal immediately online and try to submit the information online. Try to upload the information by using the Excel template and JSON file. Once TRAN-2 is filed, no revision is allowed. Once it has been filed, no revision is allowed. Taxpayers are allowed to upload a maximum 4 PDF documents of 5 MB each. So after all this information which is going to be submitted, what they are saying, at the time of submission, TRAN-1, TRAN-2, you are supposed to upload the document, that is annexure A, and any other information pertaining to that. You are allowed to upload only 4 PDF documents. Each document's bandwidth should not be more than 5 MB each. See, this is the TRAN-2. Details of inputs held on stock on appointed date, in respect of which is not in possession of any invoice, document evidencing payment of tax, carried forward to electronic credit ledger. So on particular stock which was held by me, I was not having any documents regarding that stock details. In that scenario, I was supposed to upload the information in table 4 and submit that on monthly basis whenever the sales have been effected. And credit on state tax on the stock to be there only in states having VAT at single point. So accordingly, I was supposed to provide the information in table 4 and 5. I should verify, confirm the earlier information which is uploaded, and then I should be able to upload the details. Now this is the last window. We have submitted all the information. Now they are saying supporting documents. If you see here, they are clearly mentioned. File with PDF format only allowed to be uploaded. Maximum of 4 files with file size of 5 MB for each file is allowed. And please save the document before clicking on submit button. So you have to take utmost care again and again before submission. You should not submit 10 बार चेक कर लो भैया information correct है, proper है, it has in a proper format which is required. Now precautions and practical issues. If any incorrect disclosure made in original form, you can get rectified even the credit is transferred to electronic credit ledger. So even though earlier form has been submitted, the credit has been transferred to your electronic credit ledger, and there are certain rectifications which are noticed after submission of the form, provided your audit has not been conducted, provided your verification of transitional credit has not been done, and there is no any reversal, rejection order, etc. In that case, you can rectify the credit and get it transferred to the electronic credit ledger. ITC is transferred on filing of TRAN-1, but credit not reflected to credit ledger due to technical glitches. I told you earlier. There are contingencies that my form has been transferred, my details have been transferred. The amounts is showing in each and every table, but that particular consolidated amounts under respective act of CGST, SGST, IGST, whatever it may be, has not been transferred to electronic credit ledger. So in that case, these technical glitches also, we can take precaution, we can verify, confirm, and then rectify those. Then credit or balance in return is claimed through GSTR 3B. As same was not submitted on portal due to technical issue. So there are a lot of cases, many cases we have came across on the basis of the Supreme High Court judgment, that in case of X High Court judgment, the High Court has directed that the person, the dealer should be allowed to claim the credit manually in GSTR 3B. On the basis of that, so many people have availed the credit in GSTR 3B. It's not a situation that you are allowed, because that has to become through the portal. The information has to be submitted over there and credit should flow to the electronic credit ledger. I have one case from Aurangabad, wherein I was fighting for the dealer. The dealer came to me, he said, sir, why I am telling you this incident, because we should be knowing the dealer also, whatever information he is providing to us. See, the dealer came to me, it's a private limited company. The dealer came to me, sir, I have got a problem. My credit has not been transferred and there are technical glitches. So I asked him, show me the documents. Do you have any snapshots, any photocopies or something like that, that you have created the evidence that you are facing technical glitches? He had shown me the file. There are a lot of 10, 15 snapshots, etc. was having with him. I said, fine, your matter should have been reported to your nodal officer. Your case is with Central. You should go to your nodal officer and present before him. There was your Annexure A, which was introduced in last year. On the basis of that, again, certain cases were sent to Technical Redressal Committee. So I informed him, you go and submit. He had submitted. Then he asked me that the superintendent and the assistant commissioner asked me to write a letter saying that all the details, whatever steps you have taken. So I drafted a letter. I handed over to him. He had gone to the superintendent and assistant commissioner. He submitted the letter over there. Then I said, what was his response? After 5 days, 6 days, he called me. He said, sir, I had not informed you that my earlier excise consultant had preferred an appeal against this. under earlier law, that the refund should have been granted as per the provisions of section 11 or whatever it may be there, whatever, I don't know excess because I'm not in that area. So he said, we have submitted an application before that excise superintendent, assistant commissioner, etc. Then he has requested us to submit information. We have submitted, but he has passed the order and rejected the claim. Then I said, what has happened? He said, we have filed an appeal. Then he said, appeal order has been passed. Where is the appeal order? Come with all documents. He came to me. I have seen the appeal order. The appellate authority, as we remand back the matter for verification, the appellate authority has remanded the matter back with the guidelines given to the assistant commissioner saying that there are technical glitches. Some documentation part has been provided and evidence has been provided by the dealer. Matter should be verified and reported to respective authority. So he was keeping quiet on me. So I said, you have not told me. So I forgot. See, it was I forgot. I said, fine. Then I followed with the assistant commissioner over there in the Aurangabad. Sir, we have submitted a 15 days, 20 days back one letter to you. He said, Mr. Padhye, you come and visit me. You come and explain your facts. You come and see me in detail and we will discuss and how to go ahead, we'll see. Fine, we'll go. Then I asked him, you take an appointment so that I will come. One fine morning, he called me. Sir, Central Excise CGST audit has came to me. ADT 1 has been issued and they are going to come to my place. I said, fine. They are given whatever are the requirements. You are supposed to provide the requirements to them. You submit. If you have any queries, they are queries. You take it from them. We will go through all their requirements, queries. We will address their queries and if required, I will come there. Fine, he said, no problem. After 5 days, he called me and said, sir, unfortunately, I have not told you. Even my staff, see, it's a private limited company having good amount of turnover. The managing director is saying me, I was not knowing. I came to know this when my audit was going on. We have already claimed a transition credit in 3B. We have already claimed a transitional credit in 3B and now the audit officer or the assistant commissioner is saying, I am going to reverse because you are not supposed to claim the credit through 3B. I said, what you are trying to tell me? I am fighting with that assistant commissioner. Allow us the credit, take the matter to the GST council. You yourself is not knowing what has happened, how your people have taken the credit, and you have gone in the appeal to claim the refund under earlier law. See, these are the scenarios. So I am always saying that utmost care should be taken before submission and filing. Because now these, जैसे उमंग भाई ने अभी पूछा, there are lot of contingencies which are going to face now. मैंने 3B में क्रेडिट लिया है, कैसे ले लिया? Many people have taken the credit in 3B. Now what will be the situation? If you are going to upload the details and you are going to say, I have taken the credit in 3B, now you will be required to reverse that credit which is taken by you. How you will reverse? For 17, 18 or 18, 19, in whichever year you have claimed, the government will say that you have incorrectly availed the credit, pay the interest upon it and pay that amount along with DRC 03. Fortunate ऐसा है कि 73, 74 का कोई action चालू होने से पहले reverse करना चाहिए. So in that scenario, my humble submission is that in that case, first pay DRC 03 and then submit the information over here. Because again, you can have a say कि सर गलती से 3B में लिया था उसको मैंने पे कर दिया. Now I am taking the credit over here. Then credit or balances in return is claimed through GST. We have seen disclosure or comments about claim of credit in reconciliation statement from Form 9C. When we have conducted the audit in such type of cases, some auditors have put a comment, particularly in such scenarios. So that is also required to be taken into consideration, that what is going to happen in that scenario, because it's a declaration or a qualification which is put by your auditor itself. You cannot run away from it. And that scenario, again, it will be a situation for us that first reverse that credit. Review of the earlier forms filed to verify correctness and completeness of the claims which have been filed. Review of the credits reversed due to departmental audits or TRAN-1 verification. So TRAN-1 verification हुआ था मेरा, उसमें से मेरे को कुछ क्रेडिट उन्होंने बोला नहीं, you are not supposed to claim, reverse करो, और departmental audit में बोला reverse करो. So I have to confirm that whether I have been adjudicating that matter or that. In that scenario, I should not go and claim the credit again, because it has been categorically clarified by the CBIC in their circular 180. Review of all the returns filed under excise, service tax and VAT laws to confirm the correctness of credit claimed earlier. See, there are a lot of cases which are there. In some cases, the people have missed the credit also as per the returns under excise law. I have got one big case. We are fighting for last 3 years. Now it will be a situation for us. Excise credit घ्यायचंच राहून गेलं. And amount is very high, not 1 or 2 lakh or 5 lakh. It's 52 lakhs credit which has remained to be taken. Then review of credits reversed sumo motu through return in 3B, 9 or 9C. So any credit which has been reversed by me on my own through 3B or through 9 or through 9C, which prima facie I felt that it may not be eligible, which is wrong claim. Now it's an option available to you to confirm that whether it is eligible. If it is genuinely eligible, you can claim that credit again now.
We finally transfer and claim the credit of the service tax. Later on, when the circular number of 2019 came, there was certain, if we want to opt for the new scheme, then we were required to reverse the credit whatever is there. And we wanted to go for the new scheme. But the main problem was that the service tax paid to the CIDCO for acquiring the plot.
Where?
For acquiring the plot from CIDCO.
And
they have service tax from there. They levied the service tax, which is in crores of rupees. And then due to the then due to certain conditions of the central government, we were not getting the CC. When we are not getting the CC, we are not allowed to apply for RERA, or we cannot sell any units to anyone. So there was no sale of, so there was no sale of any units or any advance from any buyer. So the condition forced us to reverse the credit, and in 2019, the reverse the CD, the entire credit which was available in TRAN-1 due to the notification, and the write letter to the department also. Due to this, only in the conditions mentioned, we are retrieved from getting the credit. So now, can we again file the TRAN-1 because we have already claimed and we were required due to the conditions mentioned in the circular.
Earlier, you have claimed the credit.
Yeah.
Then, as per the notification or the conditions, you have not fulfilled those conditions. Therefore, sumo motu, you have reversed the credit.
Yeah, but the conditions were such that the central government was not granting the CC to certain floors you must be aware that
5 minutes पे मराठी coaching class
Okay.
central
We
government.
will discuss it. We will discuss it because I have to complete. Then confirmation about availability of credits due to judicial pronouncements. So regarding SACE, KKC, or any other judicial pronouncements which were declared or delivered, if any credit which is available but not claimed because the time limit was gone, then we have to consider that if now it is available, then 100% we should claim that credit. Any credit remained or not claimed earlier, claimed as refund under earlier law, claim is rejected. Now whether it can be claimed. I told you that my case. Now whether can I claim that credit? So it's a big question again. Then revision of claim due to availability of documents now which were missed earlier. So certain documents which were not available at that point of time, that credit was not taken because the documents were not available. Now I am having the documents with me or visible with me. Then can we claim the credit? So yes, it should be that we should claim the credit. But again, coming to the CBIC guidelines saying that the documents, the invoices, the records, etc., on the basis of which I am now claiming the credit should be made available for verification to all of them. Then incorrect reversal made through GSTR 9(9)C pertaining to transition trend can be verified and confirmed and claimed now. So I told you, if on the basis of opinion or view taken by the auditor, sumoto, we have reversed the credit, or we felt that the credit which has been availed by us was not eligible, in that scenario, we should now consider availability, confirm it, and we can claim that credit again through TRAN-1 and TRAN-2. Thank you. So I have tried to explain the provisions of TRAN-1 and TRAN-2 which are made available to all the dealers because of the Supreme Court decision and the guidelines issued by CBIC as well as by GSTN. On the basis of that, I tried to explain all the details. So all the benefit or the option which is available to us, we should take the benefit. Only thing is that the precaution should be taken that whatever information again we are going to submit should be a correct and proper. To President of GSTPAM, office bearers, Vice President, and all the managing committee of the GSTPAM for allowing me to express my views on this subject. And I should sincerely thank both of my friends, Mr. Hemant and Mr. Abhay, who accompanied me from Pune to here out of their busy schedule. So I am once again express sincere thanks. Thank you very much. सर आपण 5 मिनिट नाही काय पुढचा क्लास कोचिंग क्लास सुरू करायचा. ओके ठीक आहे.
आता याच्यात एक टेक्निकल इश्यू असा आहे ना की आपल्याला कमिशनरचं एक सर्क्युलर आलं होतं रिगार्डिंग वॅट रिटर्न्सच्या क्रेडिटचं की ओरिजिनल रिटर्न्सचं क्रेडिट आणि रिवाइज रिटर्न्सच्या क्रेडिटच्या संदर्भात 142. तर आता आपण जे सांगितलं त्याप्रमाणे आपण वॅट रिटर्नचं क्रेडिट पण पुढे घेऊ शकतो. रिवाइज ओरिजिनल रिटर्न्स मध्ये कमी क्रेडिट होतं, रिवाइज रिटर्न केलं त्यात जास्त क्रेडिट आलं होतं, त्याप्रमाणे आपण फाईल केले ते रिजेक्ट केले. तर कॅन यू फाईल ॲज पर द करेक्ट रिवाइज रिटर्न्स नाव?
See, because provisions of section 142 says that credit will be available only on the basis of the amount which is available in original return. The word original return is there, and therefore the issue is there. Revised return is allowed. Revised written is allowed, but
Upward revision of claim is not allowed.
download is allowed. Download is allowed. Upward is not allowed.
बाहेर निघाली ना असू दे नका नका लिहू पण नका चालेल फोटो प्रिंट्स बाकी आहे बसा ना बस या बसा माहिती वेळ
Just I want to share one information from the Commissioner's office. Because of that user ID password, which were not being forgotten or was not getting set, they have, as I said, they have allotted this job to the every PA of the Joint Commissioner of respective division. However, now in the morning only we had one issue that that PA was on leave, and on the DC desktop that tile was not available. So now they have additional guidelines. They have issued the additional guidelines for reset by PAs if PA is on leave. At locations where more than one JC ADM is sitting, password reset and PAN correction work will be handled by another PA sitting nearby to PA who is on leave. Example, on same floor or same zone building, no CTC or charge transfer is required. Locations such as Majgaon and Pune, etc., means no charge is required to be transferred or taken over. Then a location where JC ADM and JC PT is sitting, if PA to JC ADM is on leave, then right are already given to the JC PT of all PT officers in the location who will be able to complete the task. No CTC or charge transfer required. Locations such as Kolhapur. Locations where PA is on long leave and PA charge is required to transfer by way of CTC, then password reset will be automatically transferred by CTC on SAR. So these are the information I have received from the Commissioner office. We can see their seriousness on the getting that amnesty successful. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Good afternoon to all. Certain announcement is there. I request all the present as well as virtually present here to kindly enroll for our STEAM RRC. Our intense study courses as well as Marathi coaching class under GST is also available. Kindly enroll for the same. And I will let you know that last year we have conducted GST diploma with the M&A authority of our university. The result is also come out. And for this year, admission also going on. I request all the present here as well as virtually present, take the opportunity to enroll and get the knowledge on GST subject. I will come to the proper subject, that is the vote of thanks. I really sincerely thanks the Suhas Padhye sir, who has enlightened us on the given subject matters. Very litigiously as the subject is handled, very masterly mind has spoke on the given subject. I also appreciate the presence of Abhay Bora and the Patki Sahib who come along with the Pune. I also sincerely thanks the conveners taking the efforts conducting this such a study circle meeting. And lastly, our president and the office bearer who are present here, and all the present virtually and physically who has participated in large numbers. Thank you. We'll rise for national anthem. Jana Gana Mana Adinayak Jaya Hai Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravid Uttar Banga Vind Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchchal Jari Taranga Tava Shubh Name Jage Tava Shubh Ashish Mage Gaye Tava Jaya Gata Jana Gana Mangal Dayak Jaya Hai Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya Hai Jaya Hai जय हे जय जय जय
भारत माता की जय।